So we're talking all things Grammy predictions, and I had to bring on Chuck Arnold, the senior entertainment writer for the New York Post, because you just wrote an article about who you're predicting is going to win or who should win, and we got to talk about this.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
So let's start things off with let's go album of the year.
Okay.
And
Love
album,
it.
what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I am rocking currently a Beyonce shirt, if you can see.
I love it.
It's a Renaissance shirt because I'm still protesting that she didn't win Album of the Year last year. So I'm still mad 365 days later. But I think this is an exciting category this year because it's really a little bit of a toss-up, other than years past where you kind of didn't know what the hell was going to happen, right? So, but this year there is the chance for history to be made by a certain Taylor Swift,
Uh-huh.
which is exciting. I mean, everybody likes to see history be made, right? So that's what's on the verge of happening because right now she's tied with Paul Simon, Frank Sinatra, and Stevie Wonder. Those are the only artists in history to have won Album of the Year four times. Or sorry, three times. Taylor has a chance to do it four times for Midnights, which of course was a blockbuster that set her off on that whole Epic Eras tour that she's still on. And yeah, so that is exciting if she can actually do that at her age. I mean, she's still only 34. She probably has like 20 other opportunities to win Album of the Year in her life. So I think she's got the edge, but she's got some competition. Um, I want to say that SZA is the biggest competition that she has, and I'm a big SZA fan. I thought it was SZA's year in 2023. I loved SOS. Everybody loved Kill Bill, and it just like feels like one of those records of the moment, you know. Um, when I listen to it, it's like if Billie Eilish and Drake had a baby, it would sound like this. I mean, how dope does that sound, right? And that's how great the record is. It's a combination of hip hop, R&B sensibilities, and then like sort of this alternative pop kind of, electro thing that Billie Eilish does. So, I mean, that all sounds amazing. And it was really, to me, it was her year. Uh, but of course, musically, as for albums wise, of course, it was Taylor Swift's year in every other way. So I think the Grammys are going to want to honor that. And she's coming, and she's not coming to lose. So
Facts, absolutely. But let's just throw in a little twist to that. Olivia Rodrigo, she could snag it for Guts. She is up for 6 nominations throughout
yes,
categories. That could be a little, twist.
yeah. I mean, I think here's the thing. The thing is that you kind of have when you look at album when you're looking at predictions, right? You have to think about how the voters are going to go, right? It's not. It's kind of this analysis of like who's going to vote for what they like, and where you can get the strongest block of voters, right? And the thing this year is that you have, first of all, there's almost all women in the album of the year category, which is great. John Batiste is the only man nominated, and he's already won album of the year actually. So that actually gives him a chance because there may be some people who just are like, oh wow, they just relate to him. He's certainly very different from all the other artists because he's jazz. But to your point about Olivia Rodrigo, I think she is a similar sensibility for some voters as Miley Cyrus, who's up for Endless Summer Vacation, and Taylor Swift, who's up for Midnights. So there's sort of three pop females who are kind of going to split the vote to a certain extent.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm giving the edge to Taylor Swift because I think Taylor Swift, there's no country album in the mix this year, and I think she's going to get some carryover from her beginnings in country music with people who don't have anything else to vote for from Nashville.
All
So,
right, so your prediction goes to Taylor for album of the year. Now, record of the year,
yes, yes,
another, two big standout names again, the same two, SZA and Taylor.
yes.
Thoughts on who's going to be landing record of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think record of the year is a category where they tend to want to be a little edgier and hipper. So, but record of the year, that tends to be a category where they want to look hip. And this year, nobody was hipper than SZA. And I think Kill Bill was #1 for like this crazy amount of weeks. It was in the top 10 like forever. It even had a remix at one point with Doja Cat. That always helps because it broadens the people that will see you and will hear it. I think her tour was very well received. Um, so people want to also see that you can perform live. They don't, they want to know you got the goods and this was not just something you did in the studio. So that's why I'm giving her the edge. And I also believe sometimes the thing that deserves it actually wins. And in this case, it's going to be SZA.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was gonna even suggest maybe Billie Eilish because obviously with the Barbie movie,
Yeah,
that's a very big record, but we also can't forget about Miley Cyrus and Flowers.
right.
That is an earworm that everyone's been singing. And I also feel like she might be up for Song of the Year, which we'll talk about next. But what do you
Yes.
think either of those two have a chance at Record of the Year?
I think Miley does. I mean, to me, that is a very close second to Kill Bill as the actual record of the year. And then as far as Billie Eilish, you know what? They love Billie Eilish. She is the quintessential Grammy darling, you know, kind of like the hipster version of Taylor Swift, right? Like everything she does seems to turn to gold when the Grammys come around. So you can never count her out. But the thing going against it, of course, everybody saw Barbie. It was great. And the song captured, it added almost a depth to Barbie, and I think she's been open about the fact that that song helped her through a dark time on her own. So people love that. Like when there's a layer, like she brought this layer and all these layers to something that you would think would have been sort of plastic. So I think that she's got a shot. The thing going against it is it wasn't a huge hit. It didn't even crack the top 10 of the Hot 100. So as much as critics and possibly you want to say industry people liked it, and it'll probably win Song of the Year at the Oscars, or Best Original Song, I think they call it. It wasn't a huge hit in the sense that it was every place that everybody knew it. There's probably a lot of people that don't even know how it sounds, and that's not what you want from Record of the Year. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give that to you then. So then
Yeah.
let's move to Song of the Year because I'm
Okay.
still hanging on to Miley Flowers for that one as well. But
Okay.
we do have SZA and Taylor also head to head
And
going on that.
Olivia again. I guess it's the same kind of thing. That's what's happening with like 4 pop females.
And Billie also thrown in there.
Yes.
But how about Lana Del Rey? Because she still has not won a Grammy. She is
Yeah.
up for Song of the Year. I personally don't think that her song would snag it, but it would be good because it'd be her first Grammy.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's overdue, right? She's overdue, but it's a case of again, she's kind of going to be in the mix with other pop females who had bigger records that people know. It's going to come down to another battle between Taylor Swift and this time I'm going to say da 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 Billie Eilish. So
Oh,
yeah.
very good. Okay.
So I mean, I think that Billie Eilish is deserving of it. I think as far as a songwriter, strangely enough, Taylor Swift has never won record or song of the year.
I was
That's kind of unbelievable, right? She's had so many huge hits. We know that she writes her songs too.
yep.
So that's a surprise.
But still cannot say seem to nab in that those two categories. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see if she gets at least one of the two.
You know what? She can't complain because she's already won 3 Album of the Year Grammys, and Beyonce's never even won one. So, but I would like to say there, though, that it's because she is considered a real artist that thinks about the theme of her album, right? Has a statement she wants to make from start to finish. So that's why I think she's won Album of the Year 3 times. She's had some bad luck with record and song of the year. We're just tough competition. I think this may be the year that she sneaks through for Anti-Hero because it really is. It was a great song. It is one of those songs where you do admire the craftsmanship, and it's a more mature sound for her.
And it also is the year of Taylor, so let's be honest.
Yes, 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 yes.
And then wrapping it up, best new artist, we have to get into that. Who is your standout on that one?
Which is like someone who the the general population never heard of before, and then all of a sudden they have this breakout moment where to most people they're new.
Hmm.
So she is that, even though she's done writing for Ariana Grande, Chloe and Halle, and she's put out her own music for years. So she's my personal pick. He also wins because he's country music, and everybody in Nashville is voting for him. You know that, and that's a huge voting block of
Yep.
the Academy. That's a huge part of it, and they vote for their own.
So that's who your pick is. Because I mean, Ice
Kelly
Spice,
Rose my pick to win, but I would. She's Victoria Monet is my personal pick.
oh, true, true. But I was also going to say Ice Spice could slide in, although I don't think she's strong enough yet, but she would be good as a new artist as well.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't even put out her first album yet, so I was kind of surprised that she even got a Best New Artist nomination. But that's the Taylor Swift factor, right? People know her from Karma and that remix that she did with Taylor Swift, and that's why she's on that list. Because again, this is a general category where everybody's voting on it.
Right?
So anything connected to Taylor Swift, even if you're an 80-year-old musician, you're gonna know about that.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, one more prediction I want to ask from you before we let you go. Who do you think is going to walk away with the most awards?
oh, wow. That's a good one. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a sweep like years past where someone won like 7 or 8 or, crazy amount. This is really what happens at the Grammys is there's so many genre awards, for R&B, for hip hop, rap, for rock. So, SZA leads with 8 nominations. A lot of her nominations are in the R&B field, and I expect her to win most of those. So I think it'll probably be SZA because she'll win a lot of the R&B categories, although she might lose 1 or 2 to Victoria Monet. But I think that she is because again the name and the person who ruled the R&B world in 2023. Most voters are going to be like, let's give her the love. And Victoria Monet, she's probably going to win maybe 1 or 2 in R&B, but I expect SZA to win most of the R&B categories.
And Taylor up for 6. How many do you think she'll walk away with?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think it was Folklore where she was nominated for a bunch and she only won one, the biggest one, album of the year. I think it could be something similar this year. And then in the pop field, I think she has a couple more. So that means that she's going to have a lot of competition because she's nominated for the biggest things. So
Fair enough. All right. Well, I guess we're going to have to see it all play out. It's
yeah,
been
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's nice to know that I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong about all of them, and I wouldn't be surprised if I was right about all of them. That's going to make an exciting night, right? You may see like a trend happening earlier in the night where you can see, okay, this is looking like this person's night, but I see this more as everybody's going to get their share of the spoils.
awesome. Well, Chuck Arnold, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us today and
Yeah.
to see how many of these predictions come true.